Today we got some Keith Urban, We Were. This one's not too bad. It's probably 3 out of 5 stars difficulty, but you can get away with playing it easier. The hard parts are basically the solo has got a lot of bends, so if you're playing on an acoustic guitar, especially one with thick strings, get ready because your calluses are going to get renewed. And also, there's kind of some funky picking, but you can get away with playing just the chords totally fine. So let me play it real quick, and then I'll break it down for you. I'll just do I'll do the intro riff, a verse, chorus, solo, and then I'll do like the outro solo, where he's got 2 riffs that he plays during, or licks, whatever you want to call it. So it goes like this. Just a couple years short of the edge, by my name on my fake ID, and still about 100 away from the day your dad would say you could run with me. We were a couple of line steppers that just couldn't wait to step over the line, never thinking we wouldn't last. I was your first and you were mine. We were leather jackets hanging on to a Harley, 2 heartbeats in the moonlight. We were feet hanging out over the edge of a water tower skyline. At least there's a little bit of sweet in the bitter, though a part of me is always gonna miss her. I am who I am, I just miss who I was when we were. We were leather jackets hanging on to a Harley, 2 heartbeats in the moonlight. Feet hanging out over the edge of a water tower skyline. At least there's a little bit of sweet in the bitter, though. So that's the 2 outro riffs too. All right, so now let's get in close and I'll break it down. It's like this. I don't want to tip my phone. All right. So start out, put a capo on the 3rd fret, and then just to get into the song, he does this little. So you're pretty much playing 15th fret, low E, slide it down right into this spot right here. So what I got here is here's the intro riff. Again, I'll play it where you can see my hand. So what I'm doing is I got my middle finger on the 3rd fret of the low E relative to the capo. Then you go pluck that open G. Whoops. Go back to that 3rd fret on the low E. And then you got this little thing here, where you're just going up, you're staying on that B string. You're going 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2. So you got 3 on the low E. You got E, G, E, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2. And now the next chord. What's really happening on the album is he's going, it's just this one string, B, open to 2, and then E string, open, 2, open. But, I mean, if you're playing by yourself, you probably don't, you want it to sound a little more full than that, so just hammer on that whole A chord. So you got open on the D, G, B, and E strings, but just hammer it on. So you got, once you hammer that on, you got 2 on the D, 2 on the G, 2 on the B. Keep that E string open, because you're going to need to do this. You can play this however you want, whatever's most comfortable for you, because you're still going to hit that open E, 2, open. So we got then you're going to repeat that G thing. Oops. You do that part again. It's the exact same as what we just did a second ago. And this part's a little bit different. Still hammer on that A chord, but then you're going to go. So that's going to be open, D, G, B, E to 2G, or 2D, 2G, 2B, open E. And then this time instead of we're gonna do 3 on the B, 2 on the B, 2 on the G. And then you go into your verse, where I'll tell you right now, the chords for the verse, G. Who's the how's it go? We were just a couple years short of the age, by my name on my fake ID, and still about 100 away. It's just G to A back and forth. And now let me show you kind of how I'm picking it. I believe it's how I was doing it on the album. Whoops. It goes like this. And what I'm doing there, you keep this shape where you got your, well, for the G chord, you keep this shape where you got your 3 on the E, the low E, you got your 3 on the B. And what I'm doing is I'm going E, open G, 3 on the E, and then the B, so we got, and then this time it's going to be open D, or open G, 3 on the E, open G. So E, G, E, B, G, E, G. And then repeat it again. So that whole thing, that whole first chord. Now you're going to go to that second chord, the A. It's essentially the same pattern, except instead of the low E, you're going to hit the A string instead. So it would be open A, 2 on the G, back to open A. Then you got your B, and then G, A, G. So A, G, A, B, G, A, G. And then repeat it again, obviously. And then you're back to your first chord. And then we're going into the, oh, also in the last time you play the A. I was your first and you were mine. Just strum it one time. And then we'll go into that chorus. We were leather jackets hanging on to a Harley, 2 heartbeats in the moonlight. We were feet hanging out over the edge of a water tower skyline. So that part is just G for 2 beats. So yeah. A, which the G, I guess I'll just tell you again. 3, block this one because it's actually a G5. You're just not playing the third of the chord, but we'll save the theory for way later. So 3, block, open D, open G, 3 on the B, 3 on the high E. And then you got your A chord, so G for 2 beats. You got your A for 1 beat, open, 2, 2, 2, open. Also block that fat E. And then you do that A for 1 beat, and then D. This is the first time you see this one in this song. Block the fat E, block the A, open D string, 2 on the G, 3 on the B, 2 on the high E. Leather jackets hanging on to a Harley, 2 heartbeats in the moonlight. And then you got this. A bittersweet in the bitter, though a part of me is always gonna miss her. So what we're doing there, B minor chord, where you got block the fat E, you got 2 on the A, 4 on the D, 4 on the G, 3 on the B, 2 on the high E. At least there's a little bit of A chord, sweet in the bitter, though a G chord is always gonna miss her. Back to that D. So the only new one in that sequence was the B minor. I am who I am. That's an E minor 7. That's going to be an open E, 2 on the A, 2 on the D, open G, 3 on the B, and 3 on the high E. What's that part? A little bit of sweet in the bitter, though a part of me is always going to miss her. I am who I am. I just miss who I was. We're back on the A chord. And then when you say when we were, just don't play any chords for when you say when we were. And then after the first chorus, you go back to that intro riff. And then you're into the second verse. Yeah. And then you got your second chorus. And now we'll go to the solo. So it starts off like this. Yeah, that'll be part one of the solo. It's gonna be 12th fret on the G string. Bend it up so you hear it sounds similar to what you play on the 14th fret of the G, but so we're gonna bend up 12. Hit the 13 of the B, and then kind of do a little mini bend, and bring it back to that 12th spot, 12th fret position on the G. So we got. Now we're gonna do the second part. That's gonna be. Oh, by the way, I'm not going relative to the capo for the solo. It's just easier to go based off of the frets at this point. Because you know, this is 12. When you got the double dots, you're at the 12. So here we are. That's section 2 of the solo. That's going to be 9, hammer on to 10, back to 9 on the G string. So then you're going to go 10 on the D string, 12 on the A string, and then slide up from 10 to 12 on that D. So again, part 2 real slowly. Now we got part 3. Whoops. So what you're doing here, you got your finger on the 12th fret of the G, 13th fret of the B, and you're gonna bend it way up there. So it's gonna sound as if you're hitting the 15th fret of the B when you're at the full bend. And also you're kind of hitting both of these strings at the very start, but once you start bending, you're only gonna it's gonna mute the sound of this G string, so you're really only gonna hear this ring out. But you kind of just get them both when you first strike that double stop right there. So when you're at the peak of the first time, you're gonna hit that 13 on the high E, and then you just do that same bend again on 12 of the G, 13 of the B. And then the last part. Oops. 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 So that's pretty much, it's as if you're going, that's what the sounds you want, but he's going like this. Where instead of, you're gonna bend basically, so you're on the 14th fret of the B string, you're gonna bend it up a half fret. So as you're looking to get this sound, as if you're playing the 15th. And then mute it. And once you're at the peak, you don't really want it to, you don't want to hear it come back down. So you do that. Then you're gonna go up to the 16th fret. Same little move. Bend it up a half fret to match this sound right here. So then you can just pluck this one, 13 on the high E. Then you're at 15 on the high E, and you really bend that one out. And that's the end of the solo, pretty much. And then it goes back into the chorus. We were leather jackets hanging on to a heart, 2 heartbeats in the moonlight. And then it's just gonna go 12th fret on the G string, bend it way up, and then hammer on, pull off on the G string from 10 to 12, back to 10. So, feet hanging out over the edge of a water tower skyline. And this part's pretty cool. You start up bent, so you bend the string before you even pluck it. That's the part right there. So you bend this, you bend this up, bend up that 12th fret on the G, pluck it, and then let it go back down. then 10 on the G, 9 on the G, but then bend that 9 back up so it sounds like as if you're going back to the 10. Catch it on the 10 of the D, 12 on the A, and then slide up from 10 to 12 on the D. So, play it normally so I can get it to sound good. And then you're at this part. With the sweet and the bitter, though part of me is always gonna miss her. And that's the end of it pretty much. Hope you all enjoyed. Peace.